Hello everybody, we are on the seventh section in this course and we are gonna talk about the API layer in this section. The API layer is a communication bridge to out. For example, in this application, the API layer is a bridge between our UI and the backend. Okay, so let's take a look at our API. As you see, we have a API layer that we created just type of ASP.NET Core Web API, and you see the structure. I'm gonna tell you more about it later. So take a look at our controllers. We have two controllers, person controller and personality controller. In the personality controller, we have an API that it just return all personalities data, and we just use it in the registration for when we want to take all personalities and show it in the registration form. We use this API. The next controller is person controller. We have an API with name get all person info. We use it whenever we want to feed our grid. We have a grid that shows the all person data, and we use this API for do this. The next API is get person. As you remember, I told you whenever the user clicks on the edit button, we should get the person data. We use just this API for that purpose. The next API is put person, and it's responsible to edit and update person. The next API is post person. It's responsible to insert new person data. The last API is delete person, and as you know, it's responsible to delete the person. And as you see, we used four type of HTTP methods: the get, put, post, and delete. And you can search in the Google about HTTP methods to know more about these methods and what are their differences. And now I'm gonna tell you more about the project structure. At first, we have a folder with name properties. You see we have a launch setting file. It indicates the launch settings for our application, such as the application start URL in the Kestrel mode and in the IIS mode, and some other things. And we have app settings.json. We put all of our application configs and settings in this file, such as our connection string. And the last file is program.cs. We just tell our application that which features we want to use in our application. For example, I want to use controllers, so I add controllers here and map controllers here. I want to just use Swagger to see my APIs and test them in the Swagger before I connect my APIs to the UI application. So I use these two lines and these two lines. And also, as you saw in the previous sections, I use this program.cs file to inject my services in all the projects that I used in this layer. Okay, we are done with the API layer. In the next section, we are gonna talk about the UI layer, and follow me on the next section.